The little blue donuts going
we
around.
are live from the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Idaho, and Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. It's episode 75 of the First Focal Plane podcast. Hey, Kurt, how you doing, man?
Not bad, buddy. You?
I'm doing all right. Sean, how you doing?
I can't see you, bro.
You can't see me, bro? Every once in a while, I'm sure somebody will pass us once in a while.
Right.
And
we'll just get a flash of that bald head.
Yeah, there I am. Last time we turned that light on, we did a Facebook Live on the way down, and we just about hit a fucking elk. So
7 foot tall elk when we turned that light on. Yeah.
So Sean's in the driver's seat. I'm in the passenger seat. We are somewhere approximating 20 kilometers or so north of Pocatello, Idaho. We have internet service for responsibly. Yes, well, that's why I'm primarily running the microphone. Yeah. So
Sean's driver.
He is. Yeah. We might run out of internet at some point, and if we do, then that's what happens. But
that's all, folks.
Yeah.
We in the meantime, we thought it was important to do the show and at least for a little while and talk about what's been going on for the last week. But first, I want to know what's been going on with you, Rooster. What you've been doing all week?
What I've been doing all week. What do I usually do?
Yeah, we missed you, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting by the phone every day for your updates, your videos, your commentary, your messages home.
Home.
Waiting to hear that you missed me and loved me.
Dearest Kurt.
Yes.
The front was tough today.
No, you know what? It's just the usual here for me. I've been working, and the bits that I haven't been working in the evenings and that I've been working on more 6.5 Rooster case forming and baloney that goes along with that. That's really about it, except for last Saturday, Yenzi and I went down to Moose Jaw to participate in a PRS golf game.
And you completely shit the bed on taking photos and video.
Shut your mouth. I took photos.
I took photos.
I didn't take much video, but I didn't do the Facebook Live like you guys do.
Did you take any video at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
For sure. I put some on Instagram. It went really well. Like typical southern Saskatchewan, as soon as the weather warms up just a hair, it starts blowing like crazy. So we had that to contend with. It was 12 to 16 mile an hour winds. And I mean, making hits out to 1,400 meters or yards, sorry. It was a challenge, but doable. It was a good midwinter kind of shake the cobwebs off type thing.
Awesome. What did you shoot? I
shot my 6.5 Rooster.
You did take the Rooster? Good for you, man.
First round hit at 1,400.
Ooh, attaboy.
Yeah.
So it was not only a nice cobweb shaking off of show, it was productive as well.
Well, it's kind of a validation thing for all the silly work that I put into that cartridge.
Yeah, for sure.
And of course, I had to kind of ham it up a little bit, doing a dance out on the firing line after a first round hit at 1,400. But the thing is,
did you actually do a dance? Please tell me Jens videoed you doing a dance.
No, Jens knows better than to publicize.
You know what?
Like that.
Fucking Jens and I need to have a talk. If he doesn't have video you doing a fucking first hit dance, then he and I need to chat.
You know what?
Clearly, I'm not paying him enough.
Knowing Jens like I do, if he saw that kind of activity out of me, he would just turn around and claim.
He just turn the camera off anyway, even if it was already on. Yeah.
All right, that's one strike for you. He's got a scorecard at home for everyone. Kill, maybe let live. Kill.
Yeah. Let's go through a couple of comments here before we move on here. So Kris says that Sean and I have never looked better. I'm assuming he means Sean and I. because our screen is completely black because it's nighttime out here in what are we in, like middle northern Idaho?
Yeah. I don't even know.
We're in somewhere Idaho.
Pilot mode. Just going. I just want to go home.
Yeah, as long as we see an I-15 sign every once in a while, which we are passing right now, then we're okay.
Now listen, keep your radio turned down low or off, because if you hear banjos,
that's Utah.
Do not stop.
It's more so Mormon bells.
And, I suppose.
Yeah, that's what we're hitting here.
Yeah.
I would expect the banjo in Utah. Man, that place is boring to drive through.
Listen, you still have southern Saskatchewan to come through yet.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm used to the boring in Saskatchewan. I'm not used to the boring in Utah. So Spudman is wondering if we're taking photos with a Polaroid. No, my man, you just fucking logged on late, and I already explained what. We just explained it again anyway.
What's wrong with Polaroid?
Yeah,
you my brownie.
If I get close to the camera, you can see my face. Look, maybe I should just like hold this thing. It's gonna be it'll be shaky. No, you can't see anything. You can't see anything. It's just nothing.
It's just nothing. My pretty face representing the First Focal Plane podcast right now. Oh, there we go.
I could get a little inception here. We're filming us. Yeah. So Dan says, Kris and Sean, what's your favorite products that you have seen from the show?
That is aside from the prostitutes.
Finally, a pointed question. All right, you go first, Sean.
Oh, for sure. Just because we can't have it, this is going to make Yenzi happy. The HK SP1 semi-auto MP5 and the various iterations of it. It's not a new product, but it's just something we can't have. I love that. In terms of the new products, I'm a little hot and horny about the new Bergera rifle coming out with their new chassis and the MG Light. It's a magnesium C and it's sexy as all hell, man. And yeah, it looks phenomenal. Or the KDX chassis or the KDX complete rifle, the new one that we talked with Jamie about there, Kurt. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I can't remember the name, but it's awesome. It's just the fit and finish and the lines and everything. It's just phenomenal. So we're also meeting up finally with Vanya from Apex Optics and getting a good look at the rival, the 4-32. That's exciting. And props to Vanya, because that boy was busy. Holy hell, he was good everywhere, taking meetings left, right, and center, and killing it. So, I would say the KDX or the Bergera rifle looks really good to me. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I mean, there was lots of really, really cool and interesting stuff at the show, but like 9/10 of it we can't get in Canada. Thought that. So Sean and I were walking around the show and we just decided to have a sit down. So we're sitting on the couch and we're eating our lunch or whatever. Dry sandwiches and shit, and for like $18 American a piece. And this guy sits down across from us. What surplus place? That place we said we were going to go to. Oh yeah, we were going to go see this Army surplus place that we're passing by. It's called Army Surplus Warehouse, and it's it's as big as a fucking roller rink. Like, it's huge. It's closed right now. Yeah. Anyway, I'm disappointed now. Okay, so what was I saying? Yeah, but what was I saying specifically? Oh, right. So this guy sits down across from us. His name was Rob, wasn't it? Yeah. Rob, and he just starts talking to us. He's from Lionheart Industries, and we're like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And he starts telling us about this. I'm like, so like, what kind of products do you guys make? And he's like, well, primarily pistols right now. I'm like, okay, cool. So what kind of pistols are you making? And he says, like, was it DP? I can't remember. It's modeled after a specific type of pistol, and I can't remember what it is.
It's like a 1911, but with it's single action, double action, but it's a double action plus. Yeah.
So what it is when you pull the hammer back. Yeah. We we put a video out of it on Facebook the other day, and Slamfire was talking about it the other day. And shout out to Slamfire. It's nice to know that they're listening to us, because I guarantee you that information came from us. And so thanks guys for listening. I appreciate that. That's awesome. So you pull the hammer back, and then you manually just push the hammer forward, like as if you were decocking it, right? But it doesn't decock it. What it does is it pushes the trigger further forward than it normally would. And then it's basically safetied for carry at that point. And it has a super long trigger pull, and essentially it just fires at double action again.
So like it's based on it's very similar to a 1911. I wouldn't call it a 1911, but it's very similar to a 1911 in the way that the frame is and that. But when you're technically carrying a 1911, you're going to carry a cocked and locked, which means hammer back, safety on, and that could pose some issues if it ever came to it, or if you drop the hammer and you let the hammer go and it just goes bang, like you're fucked, right? So what this does is it moves the trigger forward, which allows more of a mushy trigger pull on the first
and a very long trigger pull.
Yeah, but it also disengages, like as you're pushing it forward, it acts as like a disengaged safety. So
so the hammer isn't back to be able to accidentally, like if something mechanically fails, the hammer's already forward.
And it's like it's still a single action pull, but it's a longer like a mushier single action pull, but it's not as heavy, if that makes sense. So it's very unique design and very just phenomenal fit and finish on the pistol. And unfortunately, they don't make anything that's legal in Canada. Like they're meant for compact.
No, they do have some of their models legal in Canada. What they didn't have was a distributor right now.
That's right.
Yeah, they're trying to push it around in the US right now, and they said maybe in the future. But so like the first question that I had was like, okay, like when you see how far forward this trigger goes, and then you see how mushy it is, like okay, like your first shot's going off like somewhere, like who knows, like how do you have control of that with that long of a trigger pull? So I held it and I said, okay guys, like let's put a quarter on top of the rail and like see if I can pull the trigger from this double action plus position and still and like not lose the quarter. And he's like, well, I don't have a quarter, but I got a piece of 9mm brass. So I bring it up. They put the 9mm brass on top of it, and like I went all the way through the squeeze. Brass didn't move. Like didn't even move. And I'm like it is seriously smooth. It's like they basically took, like you said, kind of like the 1911. Like most of it's built around the 1911, so they didn't have to reinvent the wheel there. And then you can tell that they just spent all of their R&D on this double action plus system, and I think they like hit it really good.
Yeah, it looks cool. They have various colors it comes in, and these fucking truck drivers don't know how to goddamn drive in this goddamn
all day long. We're passing vehicles and they leave their lane. Like it's just fucking phenomenal. Anyway, I think in terms of interesting, like innovative, like new, like not really seen before or not often seen or whatever, I think the Lionheart Industries was probably what did it for me. There were some other cool things. There was a company called Shadow Systems. They are distributing into Canada through North Silva. They put like an integrated compensator on. It's kind of like a Glock clone, but they got an integrated compensator on the front of the barrel, and the barrel's not threaded. They actually pin the compensator on, so you don't need a threaded barrel. So that was kind of nifty.
Fims Tactical out of New Jersey. They had a straight pull AR bullpup, I want to call it,
in 308 and 6.5.
Yeah, and it would have been amazing if it was not just like if you could pull it back and let it go.
It's not spring assist. Well, it is spring assisted, but he said that you have to ride it forward. Yeah. You can't just let it go.
Yeah, you have to like push it forward and lock it into battery, which was kind of terrible odd in my opinion. But it was. It's a cool design that takes Timney triggers. Or
no, they had a trigger tech in it.
They did have a trigger tech. So yeah, it was just something unique.
Oh no, I'm sorry, that was a Timney. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, the one they had that we were fiddle fucking. It was a Timney, but also with that, I don't know where I was going. This sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm trying to drive here.
Right. I'll say like the bolt on that thing was so ridiculously smooth, like so surprisingly smooth. And I think the reason is because the spring is underpowered. You know what I mean? Like it was super easy to cycle, but I think the reason that it's so smooth and easy to cycle is because the spring is a bit underpowered.
And another detractor of it is it's going to cost by the time it lands with import and all that, it's going to be around $3,200 Canadian. So like that's out there.
Yeah, but I mean, like fit and finish on the thing was phenomenal, and it was pretty amazing that way. Are we losing you, Kurt? Because I've seen our video freezing.
No, you're doing good so far. And I don't know, I had to switch from my old laptop that just wouldn't cooperate tonight to where I usually hook it up direct wire to Wi-Fi.
Dan asked for like our most favorite things, and are you hearing us? Okay.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. Are you hearing me?
There might be a bit of a delay. Yeah, we're hearing you. So anyway, Dan asked for like our favorite, and we just rattled off a whole bunch of stuff. I will agree with Sean. The Bergara MG surprisingly light for a full caliber, for a high power caliber rifle. It was just stupid light. Like it's really interesting.
It's funny, a day or two before you guys actually posted that video, for the first time I read an article on that rifle, and it sounds really cool. Glad you guys got the chance to put your hands on it. Are you there?
Sorry, buddy, we're cutting in and out a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Are we coming through smooth on your end?
Yep, you are now for sure.
Okay. So I'm going to move on because I have a feeling that as we get deeper into the mountains, we may end up losing people. So we'll try to get as much of this out as we can before we do. Oscar says Rooster probably takes pics with a black powder flash. Yep.
Who doesn't?
Legit.
Jesus, man. Like
you do, actually.
It's funny. Hey, talk about the Winchester ammo guy. That was fantastic. Are you hearing me?
The 6.5
out of nowhere, like the 6.8 Western and the
6.8 Western,
yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere. We were just walking through it, and then I'm bullying in a China shop. They have this like area quarantine, and I thought there was more displays in there.
He just walked right in.
And it's like people are having meetings and stuff, and the guy's like, "Hey, you're not allowed to be here." I'm like, "Shit, sorry."
I'm sorry. I thought this was Shotshow.
I thought this was America.
Yeah. So
who is this?
So the guy's like, "Do you have an appointment?" This is at the Winchester booth.
Oh, is that right?
So they had like
security.
They had like they had like a front kind of area, and then they had all these half walls set up with like tables and stuff, people taking meetings and all this kind of stuff. We just kind of walked in because they had display stuff inside there as well. But apparently, like, you're only allowed to see that display stuff if you have a meeting.
So it was Winchester DND.
I guess. Like, so we talked to the guy for a little bit, and like we told him we were from Canadian podcast, blah blah blah. So he went and got a guy, and yeah, exactly. But he went and got a guy named Nathan, and then Nathan took us behind the area where you're supposed to, like, we got access with Nathan, and then he starts talking about the 6.8 stuff. So that was pretty cool.
I think that should be our next podcast title: Access with Nathan.
All access with Nathan. What does let's move down here. Maybe try turning your phone brightness up. Well, Sarah Jean Gress, that comment came from. First of all, lovely to see you, Sarah. You look fantastic this evening. But we are not on our cell phones. We are in the pitch black. It has with a like super expensive webcam, and there's nothing to be done about it, unfortunately. Strike Pro chassis, 7 stars pro rifle. I don't know what that means. Dan said that.
Not sure.
No, we could only hit certain booths. Like we didn't have a ton of time. Like, so we really had to map out where we were going and who we were going to talk to and who we were going to hit. So, but
yeah, we were there. I mean, it was 3 days, and we were literally running around all 3 days.
I bet.
And we saw maybe 30% of the show.
Oh wow. So probably one of the most important First Focal Plane podcast events this entire week, maybe the entire year. What was the conversation with Jerry Mitchellek like?
Quick.
Oh, no,
so
really?
Literally on day one, I went over because I saw him there, and he's just surrounded by people. And I'm like, man, like I got so many. My poor buddy Jerry, you know.
Jerry Bear.
I'm like, I got so many booths to see. I can't sit around for a half an hour for a handshake and a photo. So I left him on day one. I missed him on day two. And Vanya just literally like caught him in the hallway as he was trying to get the fuck out of there. So Vanya gets a photo on day two. And then on day three, I walked through the Smith booth like earlier in the day. He's not there. I walked through the Smith booth a couple of hours later. He's not there. I'm sitting in the Savage booth, which isn't a booth. They just put couches there because Savage pulled out of the show. But it's beside the Smith booth. And I look over and I see the Smith & Wesson shooting shirt, or the back of it, right? And I'm like, that's Jerry. And there's nobody around him. So I walk up there, and literally, like, in the 5 seconds that it takes me to walk up there, there's like 6 people surround him.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
It's like we all saw him at the same time, right?
Hey, you got to use your 6'7" reach to get in there, man. Be aggressive.
Exactly, right?
Elbows high. Get the fuck in there.
And the old guys, they always want to take up 20 minutes of his time.
Yeah.
So like the first people that got to him were a pair of older gentlemen, and they're just chatting his ear off. And Jerry's looking, like he's being polite, he's being nice. He's like listening to him, he's responding, but like he's looking around, he's making eye contact with everyone else who's waiting. No, well, not really that, but I think what it is, like he's trying to let all the people know that he sees them, and that like don't go away, I'll get to you. You know what I mean? Like he's being super professional about it, you know?
Right.
And so the one guy comes, I was like, hey, can I have a photo with you? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And you can tell he's bouncing like a freaking pinball.
Yeah.
Like he's just going from person to person, and like he knows he's got like 30 seconds with each person. So he sees the one guy, and then he turns around to go to another guy, and I'm like, no, I'm not waiting. And I yell, Mr. Mitchellek, can I also get a photo with you real quick? Right. So he turns around and like he's absolutely. And then so he comes over.
Who I am?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm getting my camera ready, and he kind of looks up at me and he goes, how is the air up there, by the way?
Oh,
and
nice.
I'm like, well, I can only answer one way. I'm like, the air is thin up here, sir. It's very thin. And like he kind of chuckles, and I'm like, I got the photo just at the right time as he was kind of chuckling. So like it made for a perfect photo. And then I told him that he made our video intro. We contacted him through Cameo, and he made our video intro, and didn't even pretend that he remembered making it, which I actually appreciated.
Yeah.
If he was, I remember. No, you don't. I know you don't.
Right. Yeah.
But he did go. He
good.
Did it work out? He I could tell he didn't remember making it, but he's like, did it work out? Did it go good? Like he wanted to know. Like, did you like it? I'm like, yeah, no, it was awesome. It was fantastic. He's, that's great. Like, shake my hand. Like, and I knew like he had to go on. So like, that was
what a shame though. Hey, like, and especially like what you're describing there. He's actually a conscientious guy. He's trying to get to everybody and all that kind of stuff. Wouldn't it be nice to actually spend some time with that guy? Hey, yeah.
Super professional.
Speaking of professionals, shout out to Peter Milan from Impact Shooting in South Africa. Nicest guy in the world, man.
Is that
right? We got to hang out with him a little bit at the MDT booth.
That's awesome.
And I got to act like a bit of a putz, and I took Vanya's Apex scope.
Did you spill something on him?
No. I went like 3 booths over and pointed the scope at Peter while he was talking with somebody. Okay. And poor Peter, he's trying to set up his camera. He's trying to do his own thing for his YouTube channel and show off the new MDT chassis and stuff like the new ACC and all that sort of stuff. And people keep interrupting him and talking to him, but he's just super nice about it. Like he gives everybody his time. So I'm, I try to take a couple of photos of him through the scope. While he's talking to people, just get a couple of candidates. Well, by the time I get it, like he's done talking to the guy and he moves like a couple of feet to the other way. And you can tell he's trying to set up his camera again, trying to get back to it. I yell at him from like 2 booths away. I'm like, Peter, move 3 feet to your right. And he looks at me and he's like, he's looking around. He's like, didn't hear who said that. So I put my hand up and I said, it's me, Peter, move to the right. So he sees it. He moves over and then he starts posing for me through the scope.
Yeah?
So I got some really cool photos. That, he was a really, really nice guy. Like he was the best.
We met a guy named Harleywood on YouTube as well, out of Georgia. He's a significant gun YouTuber, and Brian is his name. Nicest guy ever. He actually introduced me to a lot of marketing things. But John Carrera from Active Self-Defense.
Yeah, we ran into Active Self-Protection. John Carrera, he runs a YouTube channel called Active Self-Protection.
Right.
Yeah, we just ran into him in the hall. Yeah.
No
so that was pretty cool. I ran into Gun Jesus himself. Yeah, exactly. I sit down. Sean was upstairs, and I'm downstairs just having a little bit of curry for breakfast, because that's how I do. And I sit down, and like a couple of minutes later, sits down right behind me is Ian McCallum from Forgotten Weapons.
Right.
And at first I'm like, I don't want to bother him. He's eating. He's got this nice like Tex-Mex rice bowl, and like I just don't want to be that guy. The poor guy, he's been on.
You went
all
over
day.
and said, "Are you going to finish that?"
I should just let him have lunch. Yeah, exactly. I was actually going to leave him completely alone, but then some dude walks up and he's like, "You're Ian from Forgotten Weapons," and the guy just doesn't give a shit, just completely interrupts his lunch. And Ian was so nice to the guy, so I turned around. I was like, Ian, I wasn't going to disturb you, but I mean, he already disturbed
you.
So
someone else
did. Yeah, exactly. I might as well do it too. So I'm like, I love your show. Would I be able to meet up with you like later? I don't want to disturb your lunch. Could I meet up with you later and maybe get a photograph with you? And he's like, oh, just do it now. And I'm like, are you sure? I really don't want to bother your lunch. He's like, oh, who knows where I'll be after lunch? He goes like, well, let's just take it right now. It's not a problem at all. So he was, again, super nice guy. And,
I agree 100%, Ryan.
Yeah. And the funny thing is,
thinking.
The funny thing is, Ryan saying I'm fanboying hard.
Mr.
I don't fanboy. I really don't. And I'm not even going to say on air how many other celebrities were there that I just walked right past. But like Jerry Michalek, Ian McCallum, 100%. Like I will fanboy over, but those two guys, and Peter was just such like. I followed Peter on his YouTube channel for a while, so it was nice to be able to meet him. But he was just such a nice guy, and then we were talking a little bit, and he was just such a cool guy that now I'll.
And now what?
We did have one negative experience. I'm not going to say who, but we did have one negative experience where a pretty prominent YouTuber sloughed us off.
So, he was just being a jerk.
Yeah. Is that right? Did
I'll
you put him in a
tell you
headlock? You should have. Yeah, I know.
No,
I wasn't there. I was at the Bergara booth, and Sean was just like off talking to his wife, and then he got done with that, and dude walked by.
Yeah.
Ryan Christie, fucking YouTubers. No, Dan, it was not Matt Carricker from Demolition Ranch, and I am not responding to any of the other ones, but I will say that it was not Matt Carricker.
Yeah, we're not. We'll never tell you who it is, guys. So.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no point. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we're at the bottom of the comments right now, but
diminished capacity show.
Very diminished capacity show.
Ruger, Springfield, CZ, Vortex. Who else am I missing? They all pulled out.
Savage pulled out.
Rifle out there.
No, Savage pulled out of the show. Everybody he just named. No, they pulled out of the show.
Oh, they did. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they pulled completely out. Literally, the Savage booth was supposed to be right beside the Smith & Wesson booth, and they turned the Savage booth into a couch area because Savage pulled out. CZ actually printed posters and put them in the area that they were supposed to be, saying, "We're so sorry that we missed you this year. We'll see you next year." Hodgdon Powder pulled out.
Really?
Can
you imagine if Hodgson had sent some reps there though, how hammered they would get with people coming to ask him, hey, when's the next lot of Varget gonna be put out? Right?
Yeah. When we make it, fuck off.
Right. So I think that probably wouldn't have been good for company optics.
overall, though, this was a good year for our first attendance. We made a lot of good contacts, like met a lot of good people.
And a lot of the guys that wanted to give us time had the time to be able to give us, which was very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did go to the CSSA Canadian banquet at the top 104th floor of the Stratosphere. So props to Tony Bernardo and all the sponsors there from the CSSA. It was a phenomenal little networking session. I actually had a good chat with the new Saskatchewan CFO, Bob Freeberg, about various things. Met the head of the RCMP carbine training, the firearms training program that they do with the cadets and the recertifications and the quals. And I just geeked out over, the course of fire and what gear they're looking at and that sort of thing. And it was phenomenal. It was a great experience. We hung out with the Odell guys a fair amount, like Ben and Nikki and Phil himself.
And Tony.
And we can't forget.
Yeah, they're a great group of guys. Yeah, Captain Chest Hair Tony.
Tony. But and guys, before we go any further, this all wouldn't have been possible without Phil Odell allowing us as part of his delegation. So
and helping with access and helping us figure out our first show and being there for questions and all that. And he was great.
Yeah, no, it was a phenomenal experience. The Tropicana Hotel, I hope they demolish it soon because
I took a piece of it.
Really?
Well, there's rumors that Bally's has bought it to demolish it and either, I don't know, like build a new hotel or build something else there. So I'm like, well, this might be the last time I ever even see the Tropicana. And right on the north entrance, there's this like, it's like a marble slat wall sort of a thing, but there's all these little pieces of it that are like all the mortar is coming out loose on them because it's so fucking old. So I just pulled a piece of marble out and just took it with me just in case they ever demolish it.
Have it laser engraved somewhere.
Yeah, it wasn't attached to the wall. Like finders keepers. Like
send it to Steve at EM Precision to get him to laser engrave shot 2022.
Yeah, Shotshow 2022 on it.
That is funny.
Well, no,
went to shot, and this is what I brought home.
Yeah,
and all they gave me was a piece of the Tropicana Hotel.
Right.
Yeah, but like overall, it was a great experience. Kurt, you got to come down next year. It's going to be amazing, and
I can say this: the first focal plane will be there again next year, and we will be we'll step it up, and we will we're committed to bringing like the best Canadian coverage of Shotshow.
One more thing, John was there from John and his crew from Tundra Supply in Edmonton.
Oh, right.
Oh man, what a fun group! Just awesome guys.
Just salt of the earth people too, like phenomenal individuals, and it was good to see these people that you've heard of and you've maybe chatted with over the internet, and then you finally meet them. It's like, you're John, you're Sean. Hey man, like what's going on? And
we forgot to mention we mentioned that the new Saskatchewan provincially appointed CFO was at the CSSA reception, but so was the Alberta CFO. I can tell you guys, like both Saskatchewan and Alberta, in terms of CFO representation, we're in good hands right now. We are in very good hands right now.
She was pretty good.
Oh man, everybody there is like she is like the preeminent expert on Japanese firearms in Canada. Just amazing.
A massive collection of Nambu, Arisaka, like everything. Like I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, and obviously those in Saskatchewan know that Bob Freeberg is a gun guy. I feel validated right now because Shane Mansour is saying that he always fanboys when he goes to Shotshow too. So I feel validated. Look at
his list.
I appreciate you saying that, Shane.
Yeah. Look at his list, though. I think
the target in H1000 is. Hey, Ryan, where was Hodgdon? We would have asked them, I promise, if they were even at the show.
Oh, and at KDEX, we Rob Furlong from he's part of KDEX. Rob and Maury were there. Jamie Barkwell, who we've had on the show. We didn't really get a good chat with Rob. I caught him later on, but Rob and Maury. But those are the guys we interviewed at King of 2 Miles Canada, the first one.
Well, you know how emotional Maury is. You know.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, he saw me. He could barely contain himself.
I bet. Yeah.
So Spudman wants to know if we went to Rick's pawn shop in LA. No, no, we did not. Absolutely did not. What's it say, Terry? Sorry, Wayne's saying something. Can you read that for me, Kurt?
Terry with an I was Terry with a Y. I'm not picking up what he's laying down.
Oh yeah, no, I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, like the Alberta CFO is transgender. I don't care. Like, she's
right?
She's great person.
Who gives a
extremely
fuck?
knowledgeable. Alberta's in great hands. That's all I care about.
Exactly.
Yeah, like her personal life is none of my fucking business.
Yeah.
Right.
But also there was at the CSSA dinner. Who else was there? We had like Tenda was represented.
Yeah, Tenda was there. Obviously, Tony was there. There were representatives from the RCMP there.
Brent from Telos Alpha.
Yep, Telos Alpha was there.
Yeah, it was just great to see, without the cynicism and the all the bullshit that comes with a lot of times that comes with Canadian gun owners. It was great to all get together and just have fun and pretend that the shit we're going through, kind of goes away for
exactly
an hour, right?
Yeah. No,
what do you think, Sean? What do you think was the craziest booth or the craziest product? Like the most off the wall fucking weirdo.
Yeah. So there's a photo here that we used for the thumbnail for the there was a M2 Browning Mod Deuce 50 caliber.
Oh yeah.
The sighting system on that was just holy shit.
Think about an RMR red dot sight, only about 100 times bigger, mounted on top of a Mod Deuce.
With the built-in rangefinder and this crazy fucking mount.
It encompasses your whole kill zone.
Yeah, and about a 25 MOA dot.
Yeah.
Sounds about right for a Modus, yeah.
In terms of the craziest booths that were there, Glock always has a stellar presentation. Smith was really good. Aguila or Aguila. Their booth was crazy good looking, and also the talent that was there was really good looking as well.
I was gonna say, Dan says, find anything you want to keep your eye on. Yeah, the ladies at the Aguila booth.
Yeah, exactly. It was
yeah. Shout out to Kaylee from Texas from Aguila.
Yes.
The Loophole booth was really nice. The Bergera booth was cool. Christensen Arms was there as well. They had a really good presentation. It was phenomenal, and it was kind of too bad because a lot of the capacity. I think a lot of guys didn't go just based on principle. There was the Nevada mandated masking there, and you could tell a lot of people didn't go just because of that, right?
Right.
And honestly, let's call a spade a spade. This is the fucking stupidest thing I've ever. You can still smoke indoors in Las Vegas. So we're all in enclosed spaces, sitting down, being sedentary on slot machines, smoking ourselves into and drinking ourselves into an early grave. And that's still okay in Vegas. But holy Christ, you better have a mask on.
People walking around smoking dope all the time. And
really?
Well, and that's the thing is pot is still illegal in Vegas and people are doing it everywhere in public, indoors, outdoors, no enforcement whatsoever. But Jesus Christ, you better put your mask on.
Oh God.
Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
The FN booth. I went to the FN booth and it was pretty cool. I mean, they had all of their usual stuff. I mean, FN has such a big product catalog, Obviously the big thing that they were showcasing was the new FN high power, which is not an FN high, well, it's an FN, but it's not a high power. It's a high power clone that doesn't use a lot of high power parts.
Well, the magazines aren't compatible with previous high powers. There's a lot of internals that aren't compatible. So it's a very unique design and basically nuked the Springfield SA-35 out of the market. Right. So I don't know. That's a little sad to see, but
And I will say though, like fiddling around with the new high power, like it's really nice, for a high power. But I mean, can you really call it a high power if it's not compatible with high power? Like,
well,
it's just a weird decision for them to make,
Maybe it's the millennial high power.
It's exactly what it is. It's a millennial high power.
We owe that gun everything. It owes us
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and it was so sad to see so many FN foul clones, and we'll never have them. Like that was a little bit sad because there were multiple companies that were making like G3, MP5, FN foul, like
the Semiel, like the Contra guns, right? Like those things are so cool. I love them. But going like Genzi, going to the HK booth and just being able to do the slap on the G3s and the MP5s, it's just that's the coolest fucking thing ever. So.
That HK booth may be the only time you will ever see Jens get emotional.
Well,
the Schmidt booth, which was close to the HK booth. They were not that far away. Yeah, we saw them. We went to both of those booths, and I'm purposefully trying not to rub that in Jens's face because I told he was messaging me on Facebook, and I think it was Wednesday, and I was just like totally downplaying both of them. Like, yeah, they were no big deal. Yeah, but they actually like, of course,
but you should have seen the 22 long rifle booths.
Well, yeah.
That's exactly what I told him.
We had a very good conversation with the guys at Ely USA. They came out with a line of actual centerfire pistol competition or competition match ammo for USPSA IPSC that unfortunately we don't have in Canada right now. And then they went through some rebranding on their packaging for their 22 long rifle. But we had a great conversation with them.
It would be great to be able to see like Ely centerfire. They're doing it's 9mm and 223-556 that they just got into that in the centerfire realm.
And 38 Super.
Oh, right, and 38 Super. Yeah. So it'd be cool to see some of their ammunition, some of their centerfire ammunition come north in the future. So Dan says, did we find anything that we want to keep our eye on? Well, I'll be truthful.
I already addressed that.
Yes. But I have another answer. I'm going to caveat this by saying people have heard me express my disappointment in the Gen 1 Kodiak Defense WK-180C.
Right.
I've talked about it. I believe I've talked about it on 2 separate episodes.
I think so, yeah.
And there were a lot of things in there that I was genuinely disappointed about. And there are a lot of things that, behind the scenes that we don't know about in terms of the relationship and everything else that I'm sure had some contribution to that. But I will say that I'm not an ideologue. I'm never 100% a fanboy, and I'm never 100 unless it's Jerry, and I'm never 100% a hater. And there was legitimately, I had disappointments in the original Kodiak rifle. Right. We spent time at the Kodiak booth, and we were able to do everything with the Generation 2 WK-180C except fire it.
That was a great little interview with that, and I thought for the time allowed, right?
There's a lot of things that it's very clear that they took seriously on the feedback of that rifle. They've changed the cast piston system. They changed the grip system. They changed the lower parts kits. They changed the hand guard. They changed the fact that there was no manual bolt hold open or bolt release. It's not just that they listened to one or two things for their next generation rifle. They listened to a dozen things on that rifle. Now, are there still some other things that we have questions about? Yes. Yeah. Owen from Kodiak Defense, the head technician, he told us flat out, we did not put a shell deflector on it. What we did instead is we beveled the ejection port, and in their testing, they have absolutely no problems with ejection. And yes, the brass will mar the finish on the ejection port, but the brass mars the finish on brass deflectors as well.
Exactly.
Like,
you know what?
Show
And
me
the thing,
show me a well-used
tool.
AR-15 that isn't
Right.
all brass scarred
Right.
on the deflect.
If it's an ornament, you're doing it wrong.
That's right. Yeah. And so there's a couple of things that like we're going to need to test out to verify. Like we're going to need to shoot it to verify a number of these things. But it is one thing that I am convinced of is that they are doing their best to listen to the feedback. And I will also say this, and not in defense of Kodiak, this is just the reality. There are like the other companies that are doing 180 platforms have had the luxury of being able to look at what Kodiak brought out with and be able to improve upon it. They've had the luxury of time to be able to improve on that design. And, Kodiak had the Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1, Gen 1. And I think they lost a lot of market share over the last couple of years with all of the other companies picking up a lot of that stuff. You've got Spectre Ballistics, Spectre Limited, True North Arms, and they're all doing fantastic jobs driving innovation amongst each other. The competition is 100% driving innovation, and Kodiak,
which it should be.
Absolutely. That's the way it has to be.
Yeah. Yep.
Kodiak said that they have been working on this Gen 2 rifle for about a year and a half. As in it was like 90% ready for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And they have been properly testing and doing further R&D and refining and fine-tuning this rifle for a year and a half. And that makes me very hopeful. I'm very glad to hear that. And nobody has heard about the Gen 2. There's been no announcement a year and a half ago, we're coming out with Gen 2. Right. They just got to work and they quietly started working on this rifle. And so far that impresses me. And I am willing to give them a second chance based on that.
And their team, you can just tell by talking to them, they're dedicated and they take what everyone says to heart. That like this is their
sometimes too much to heart.
Like you can tell that they're like we're gonna succeed here, and we got to work. They're putting out a product and we'll see when the production run comes. But the sample they had there was phenomenal.
What I'm seeing right now, I see that within the next 8 to 12 months, I see the top two contenders being either the Gen 2 180C and the Sterling. Understanding that I haven't played with the Sterling yet, or the Gen 2 180C and a combination of something that the other companies are coming up with, whether it's like the Lynx lower with like a TNA improved upper or a Spec 180 with an MCR upper or something like that. I heard that Spectre Ballistics, I was listening to the crew at Slamfire last night. They had Spectre Ballistics on and they mentioned that they're coming out with an upper. I hope that they do. And and if it is what they were talking about it going to be, then you may see the top two as the Lynx and the Gen 2 180C. And I think that that's just going to further drive more innovation when it comes to Spectre Limited and TNA and all of those things. And I think that the competition, especially between those four companies right now, we're going to be the benefactors of that. And I think that no matter what's going on, we need to support all of those companies.
Absolutely.
No more of this fanboy bullshit about I'm the MCR. Oh no, the MCR is bullshit. It's WK.
Well, it's the old Ford Dodge Chevy thing, right?
I'm going with the Lynx. Like enough of this shit. Oh, sorry, and it's actually 5 companies because you've got Sterling now.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I think it's an interesting time potentially for semi-automatic 223 in this country again.
It's the prospect of new semi-automatic 223s coming out, semi-automatic anything actually is extremely attractive to us right now.
Absolutely.
Given the current environment here.
I really do think that it's smart that companies have started to invest in the 180 platform because the 180 platform never in the history has it ever been marketed
right.
or built as a military rifle. Never.
That's right. Fuck you, Trudeau.
Exactly. So Shane says, really miss getting together with everybody at the show this year. Shane, something tells me that all of us are going to be there next year, and we're all going to be able to get together. And I for one, am excited for that. Sorry, when we're getting low there, I can't see what's Oscar saying.
Where?
Right below Shane's comment.
When Yenzi and I get the shot, I'll have time for you guys. Not sure about Jens, though.
We love it, Oscar. We love it. And I suppose Jens will appreciate being able to.
And Jens.
He wants to. Love you, Oscar.
Yeah, that is the most emotion I've ever seen out of a true German.
Love
you, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah. And he'll go with Oscar and then spend all of his time at the Schmidt and the HK booth.
Yeah. Okay, so here. What about optics companies? Anything new? Well, we just happen to know some stuff, right, boys?
Are we talking about Apex?
Yeah, I think we are.
Well,
for starters, at least.
Yeah, well, obviously we have Vanya and Apex. They've got their new scope is being shipped currently. They're trying to get it into the country and get it ready to go. Man, they're getting phenomenal interest from everything, even in the American market, everything from civilian all the way up to military. And like they're getting really good interest. People really love their product, and it's very easy to see why. And you know what? Vanya was mentioning this openly at the show, so I think that it's okay to say they are officially the second scope that they are currently in development with is a 1-10 LPVO.
I knew that.
In first focal plane. Yeah.
That's awesome.
You may have known that, but that doesn't mean everybody knew that.
I know. I've been holding out on you guys. Listen, we need to get that guy back on in the coming weeks here soon.
We were talking about that. I think we're going to bring Vanya on again very quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Get him to talk about his experience down there and all the contacts.
Yeah, we were lucky enough not only to be able to hang out with Vanya, but with his wonderful wife, Carly. And like they make a really good team together. They're such a sweet looking couple and really nice people. And we got to go out for dinner with them last night, and they're just fantastic people.
Good. Yeah.
And the fact that they're like absolutely knocking it out of the park with this company, this Apex.
Yeah.
I think that like the Canadian market really has something in store for ourselves over the next several years with Apex.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah. The only problem is that the LPVO is probably going to be in Milreds. So I was very upset. Carly basically told me to suck it up. That's what Carly said. She smacked me right in my mouth. And she said, suck it up, princess.
Yeah.
It's time to put your big boy pants on and learn metric. Or is that imperial? No, it's metric. Yeah, it's metric. Okay.
It's not metric. It is simply an angular unit of measure.
Okay,
that's
whatever.
It. That's it.
I don't care. All right, what's our next cut? So how is the Apex scope? Obviously, Spudman, we just went through that. It is beautiful to play with. Like
so good to hear.
Oh man, changing like the turrets are phenomenal. Changing the magnification, phenomenal. The eye relief is. Look at it this way, man. I was able to set it on a frickin' table from maybe 20 meters away, and just line up my frickin' SLR camera into the lens and take a perfect picture of Peter Milan from Impact Shooting. No parallax, nothing. Really? And it was just like, boom, right there, lined up with a camera, and just free holding the camera behind the scope. Like it's a beautiful, beautiful scope.
Nice. Do you see what's on the screen there right now? Dan Castillo. Kris, you're fucking Canadian. Use MRAD.
I refuse, Dan. I refuse.
Come on.
Ryan Christie says that our interview with KD made me want the new 180. Well, you know, our job is to report the news, but I'm going to fully admit that it made me want one as well. I am 100% giving Kodiak an opportunity with that rifle. They'll have my money. That's a guarantee.
Did you also see this from Ryan Christie?
What else? He said want.
On death before MOA.
Well, I mean, you can use Milram. Man, this is going to be such bullshit.
We're going to pressure you into switching.
I'm gonna have.
And you call me old guy.
He's already butthurt about all the stuff he missed at the show. So just stop piling on, you fucks.
Yeah, I'm already upset because Jens was making fun of me for not speaking German at the Schmidt and Bender booth.
Can I see that scope? Schnell.
So Spudman asks, by some miracle, if the AR-15 comes back, what will happen to these new platforms? It's interesting that he says that, because just on our drive earlier today, Sean and I were talking about ATRS and what happens if they win their lawsuit. If they win their lawsuit, then immediately you have a viable, non-restricted AR-15 platform back on the market. And it seems like ATRS is putting their eggs in that basket. I'd love to talk to somebody from ATRS about it and see how much of that is truth or not. But what a development that would be if like ATRS is the only AR-15 platform like allowed to be sold in Canada. That would be very, very interesting. But I will say this, Spudman, if you look at like the first generation of everybody's 180 platform, if the AR-15 came back tomorrow, I think you would largely see, I think you would either see deep cuts to the price of the 180 platforms, or you would see them largely disappear from the market. But I think the new generation that was just announced with the 180C, that Spectre Ballistics just announced last night on Slamfire, and that, you know, Sterling has announced, and that everything that's going on there, all the innovation that we're seeing, I think it's entirely possible that within the next couple of years, we see a 180 platform that is just as viable as an AR-15 platform.
That's fucking awesome.
I genuinely believe that. You heard it here first, folks. And if I'm wrong, I don't want you to fucking throw it in my face ever again. But if I'm right, I want all the credit.
Send us a review.
Exactly. So Jens says, so if Oscar gets me there, he might become an exclusive Schmidt and HK dealer. Because I speak Bavarian. I was bugging Jens earlier that when I went to the Schmidt booth, they saw the tall guy with the shaved head and the blue eyes, and they were going to come over to me, and then they heard me say something in English, so they turned around and just spent all their time with the Bavarian guys instead.
Hey, listen, Dan's got a good question here. Okay. Did you guys get to play with the new MDT bipod? I can't remember what the name of it is, but
which one, the ground pod or the sky pod?
The ground pod. That's it.
The ground pod. Yeah, we got to fiddle with it a little bit. Do you want to talk about that, Sean?
Well, just quickly, Ryan gave it a good yank, and he didn't appreciate that joke on the on the review. But the ground pod.
Yeah,
the quick pull.
We edited that in the interview because Ryan didn't. It was a little bit uncouth of us. Ryan says you can give this a good hard yank, and he like pulls the legs out, and then Sean goes, "You said yank."
Yeah, that's what I heard. That I heard
and then,
something.
Anyway,
like that.
And then I made a really, really, really unprofessional joke that I edited out of the interview.
Way to represent you guys.
I edited it out. It's okay.
But the ground pod is going to be a lower priced option compared to the sky pod, and but more viable. Like it's going to be priced with like an expensive Harris or a higher value Harris, right? So so it's a viable option if you don't want to spend $600-$700 on a sky pod. You can get this for, I think it's $289.
I thought it was $220 something. He said.
I thought it was just north of $200. Yeah,
there you go.
$220 something.
So, yeah, that's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this. I played around with the MDT ground pod, and I played with the new Magpul polymer bipod. And if I'm going to compare the two of them, the MDT is definitely more solidly built. Magpul's still looks good, but feels much more plasticky. If like, I know they're both plastic, but it feels more plasticky, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, and Magpul is a polymer company.
Yeah, exactly. And I think both of them are going to be good. I don't think there's any worries. I don't think anyone's going to have to worry about the Magpul breaking or anything like that. But I don't know if it's a thicker polymer or a different blend of polymer or whatever. But it just seems a little bit more solid in the MDT bipod. So I think it's going to be worth the money from MDT. I think that the Magpul will be worth the money as well. But I also think it's going to come in at a lower price point than the MDT.
You know, Ryan from MDT is a very good guy, and Shane brings up quite a good valid point. I think you see at the bottom of your screen there. You're lucky Ryan McLean puts up with you two clowns.
He says what?
Right, you're lucky Ryan McLean puts up with you two clowns.
Oh man, there were so many times when I could tell that Ryan was just not into our jokes at all. Man, even Peter. Like, why I like Peter so much is he's such a happy-go-lucky guy, and he's cracking jokes with everybody, and we're sitting around with Ryan trying to get photos. And then Peter comes up to him and starts asking him some questions about the new ACC. And he starts cracking jokes about the ACC. And Ryan had no time for Peter's jokes either. He's just like,
oh, really?
Just straight faced.
And that's because like Ryan was switched on. He was on like giving all the details to everybody coming by.
Oh yeah, he was in business mode, 100%.
Selling the absolute fuck out of everything there. And he was on.
I have no time for your tomfuckery.
Exactly. Yeah. He barely had time to crack a smile when we were talking about bacon on barrels.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine though, a week down there as a vendor, and you're talking to so many people, and there's a certain percentage of them that have to be just fucking wankers, and you don't have the time to go around to different vendors to see all the new stuff from competitors or other interesting people that you might want to see yourself. Like that would probably tend to make you a little bit grouchy by the end.
You know, the interesting thing is we had some really good interviews, and we had some interviews that were like good, but like very humorless. And like anybody who listens to the show knows that like I like serious talk, but I also like to be funny, and like all of us do, right? Like we like to keep it light, right?
Yeah.
And I edited some of the Winchester interview too, because he had no time for our jokes either.
He was very stiff, that guy.
Yeah, well, but like he was,
but like, all business.
He wasn't comfortable on camera, but like 100% on point. And even off camera, they brought one of their head technicians over, and we were talking with them, like one of the guys that was involved on the team that developed the 6.8 Western cartridge. And like, man, like if you have a technical question, like they're on point, they know what they're talking about. But sometimes they don't have that. And a lot of that is vendors too, man. I saw so many vendors talking with people, then the vendor just has no sense of humor whatsoever.
Yeah. You see this? I just put it up on the screen. Shane
is Jens funny?
So what he's saying is, Kris, you have no sense of humor.
That I have no sense of humor.
That is funny. Dan Castillo again.
Oh, that was mean, Shane. Even after we bonded over talking to people at the show,
he's just carving you up.
We bonded over fanboying, and now that's all ruined. It's all ruined.
Dan Castillo says, did you guys get to the Aero Precision booth? And isn't it Aero, or was it Aero that came out with that?
You know, I was going to go to the Aero booth. I walked by the Aero booth. You know, I not having gone in, and the reason I didn't go in is because I was trying to focus on more. Shane loves me. I was trying to focus on more Canadian-oriented content, like as much as possible, like things that we can take advantage of in Canada. And so I skipped the Aero booth, and it broke my heart. The first AR-15 I ever owned was an Aero Precision with a ballistic advantage barrel. So, you know, it broke my heart to skip them, but And if we ever see the AR back in the country, then you guarantee I will go to their booth. It looked like it was mostly business as usual, but I can't confirm that. And I apologize. If somebody had told me that they were going to ask me that question, I would have at least stopped by. Is that strike one for Jens or for Shane, or for me or for Shane?
I'm not sure. You know what? I think we'll just keep that a secret. Keep you both in suspense, you fuckers.
Be careful, Shane. We Germans are not all smiles and sunshine.
Okay, so Aero Precision came out with a 700 footprint chassis and rifle.
Oh, well, maybe I should have stopped by there. Son of a bitch.
Well, that's all right. Some other podcast covered it for us.
Did they?
Actually, I can't remember who did. Somebody did. I think it was.
Well, that's unfortunate. I wish I had known that. You know, I'm gonna chalk that up to like we literally saw like 30% of the whole show running around like chickens with their head cut off.
You cannot get to everything. That's the thing. Wait.
Where is Phil O'Dell? Last time I saw Phil O'Dell, he was stumbling somewhere around Fremont Street with a girl on each arm. No, that's a lie. That's an absolute lie. Phil behaved himself very well. He was
and sponsorship gone.
Yeah, exactly. His employees, on the other hand, I'm joking. They were a great crew. They were still at the show today. The whole O'Dell group was still at the show today. And my camera keeps falling off the dash. Well, you know, maybe to make it up for everybody, we'll see if we can get a hold of Aero and talk to them about their new bolt gun, just to make it up for everybody.
Consider that. Yeah.
I know the CEO Scott. I'll reach out to Scott and see what he is going on. So.
Yeah, because now I feel bad because people are interested in that, and we didn't get there.
Listen, same
even a
thing.
3-lug, Shane says.
Yeah. Sorry. That Aero Precision is a 3-lug apparently, according to Shane. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds pretty cool.
Spudman, with the same thing I was asking you guys this week. What about the reloading companies? Was Redding, RCBS, Lee, etc. there? Any new reloading gadgets?
Well, Spudman, clearly somebody doesn't follow our Facebook channel because we put an RCBS video up already.
Just one though. I was expecting more.
And RCBS had some pretty cool, a really cool bullet seating die.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the Matchmaster die, Matchmaster powder measure.
Mm-hmm.
Accurate plus or minus to 400th of a grain.
That was 0.04 of a grain.
Yeah. 0.04 of a grain. Yeah.
When calibrated properly, obviously.
Right.
But yeah.
Frankfurt Arsenal with my IntelliDropper, you better step up.
You went to the Lee booth, didn't you? No, you didn't. So we didn't. I didn't even see the Lee booth. Did they pull out? I think Lee pulled out.
But
and I didn't see the Redding either.
Dylan was there with all the standard stuff.
Dylan didn't seem to have a whole lot of new stuff. They were trucking along like with the if it ain't broke, don't fix it sort of stuff, you know.
We did have a conversation with the guys who make called Camdex. We had a very good conversation with them.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, man, their equipment is legit equipment.
Oh my God.
Like those boys do not fuck around. And like,
if you've got $200,000, you will have the best ammunition manufacturing equipment that money can buy.
Yep, for sure.
Do they make cup and core bullets though?
No.
That's just a custom reloading machine.
Yeah, it's just a machine.
There was a ton of body armor and LEO military applications, like Cry Precision was there, U.S. Armor, like a lot of gear. The Faro Concept guys were walking around. I don't think I saw them there, but they were there. Who else? Like in terms of gear, High Speed Gear was there. Like all the standard players.
There was so much, yeah. Like Mantis was there. I got to check out Mantis real quick. They have really cool dry fire systems.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. They had a really good looking AR one that was almost like a battery powered reset sort of a situation. Like it was pretty interesting. I went to the Cam Pro booth because they're Canadian. They're getting into black powder bullets now, like 45 and 50 caliber black powder bullets. So for those of you who give a flying fiddle about black powder, smoke poles. Yep. What else we got here? Ryan Christie uses the Matchmaster die for 338. I'll bet he loves it. 22 long rifle reloading precision.
Never mind, it's going to become a thing, and then Kris is going to be the Captain Rimfire reloading specialist.
I'll get promoted from private.
Now we had an opportunity to go to the Barnes factory, but unfortunately we just couldn't make it work. Matt, the sales and marketing director, he was still working the show, and unfortunately he's really the only one that can walk us through and escort us through. So we unfortunately couldn't make it up. And shout out to Blake for reloading all day for hooking us up with that. Blake, love you, buddy. So yeah, lots going on.
Everybody's pretending to be mean to me now. Like Oscar says, we would like Kris to be funny too, but that's horseshit. I know Oscar finds me funny. I know he does.
Funny looking.
You fucking liar.
Rob. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Sean is in the back.
Ryan Christie has the new Mantis stuff too.
Yes.
No, I can neither confirm nor deny that's proprietary information.
Yeah. Did you guys pick
whether
up
you're in the back,
designated driver down there? Somebody that wants to immigrate to Canada?
No. Andre says Aguila was interesting. I thought here's the hilarious thing. We talked with Kaylee for a while, the Texan that was in our interview, and she was a super nice lady, like very, very nice, like 4'11" lady. Somebody messaged me and said I looked so dismissive with her when we were doing our interview.
Who would that have been?
Well, but the reality was, like, she was so short, and I was craning my neck to look at her off air while we were talking off air. And by the time we got on air, I was starting to get a little bit of a crick in my neck, and I just wanted to look forward for a little while. So anyway, that's what that was about. But yeah, they had some interesting stuff. We talked to them off air about their centerfire because I've never seen their centerfire in Canada.
Nope.
And they were telling me that they have some centerfire in Canada. And I said, well, you're going to have to tell us where.
It's all going to the cartel.
Yeah. They gave us some contact info, and we're going to follow up on it. And we're going to find out if there actually is centerfire Aguila in Canada. And if so, where.
I think we better get our hands on
why
some.
The F not?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Miles with call sign 66 wants to know, okay, how were the after parties?
Well, just relentless with it. I'll be honest with you, Miles. I'm not a big piss up guy. Sean is nursing a leg injury, so I think he wasn't super interested in it.
We got to experience Senior Frogs in the yards.
Yeah, first night we were there, we did get to drink the absolutely disgusting yards at Senor Frogs. They were pretty gross.
Me down there. Like I will willfully.
You can be that guy, 100%. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and we'll just follow you around with a video camera.
Right. Pick up the pieces.
Yeah.
That's just my buddy.
I know this is.
We legit didn't have time. Like we had some time last night, but we had dinner plans with Vanya, and then we got sick. What was it? 5 hours of sleep so we could hit the road today. But like we were invited to a bar that is an insider secret that we could not attend this trip. So just a heads up. Miles knows what I'm talking about.
Well, the reality is most days, as soon as we left the show, we were back in the room editing video and trying to upload it and get content out. And all, like, it sounds like I'm making excuses, but the reality is I just don't fucking care. I like hanging out with people, but I'm not interested in the piss up parties.
This trip wasn't the trip for us to do that, right? It was, us to meet these people.
Go out there and make connections. Yeah.
That's right. But sure as shit, next year, Shots. Let's go.
Dan says he thinks North Pro Sports had some 9mm Aguila. I hope
right.
that's true.
I saw that. Yeah.
I hope that's true. Yeah, and Miles even says like me either. Yeah, I completely understand. Yeah. Sean didn't bring his fake ID. Sean's not old enough to drink.
Yeah. Who said that?
That was
He still got cookie dust on his lip.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
and
Wayne says, did you guys stop by Kestrel or Sig Optics? And
Sig wasn't there.
Yeah, Sig wasn't there.
Sig
Sig pulled out. Okay. I did stop by Lab Radar. I didn't see Kestrel. Right. Did they pull out too?
No, I saw. I saw Kestrel reps walking around. I didn't get to there, and I did see Amanda Wheeler from Applied Ballistics.
You got to just realize I'm not holding the mic up to him. Here, say that again.
Yeah. So I saw Kestrel reps walking around. I didn't actually see their booth, but then I did see Amanda from Applied Ballistics. She was there. But yeah, no, we did not go to the Kestrel booth.
Yeah, I did go to Lab Radar. They seem to be doing a lot of the, business as usual stuff. I mean, like what else are they going to improve on? It's a pretty good system. Yeah.
So Shane sends some
connections
advice here. Connections are made in the strip club. Those who know
know.
Yeah.
I will leave those connections to others. I'm okay with that. I legitimately am.
Yeah, because your wife can kick your ass. She's about the only person on the planet.
That is part of it.
Chippendales Club. Shane has all his meetings at the Chippendales Club. Anyway.
Now it's Sean's turn to say, "Love you, Shane."
Did you see Steiner down there?
Just one quick sec here.
Sure.
Dan says, will you be putting the Facebook vids on YouTube for those of us who don't have it? The answer is yes, Dan, we will. We put them on Facebook while we were during the show, just to try and get the content up. Right. We will be mashing everything together into one YouTube video that will be just like Shotshow 2022 in general. And that will be going on YouTube. Absolutely.
So 7 minutes.
Well, it'll be a little more than 7 minutes.
I know. I'm just being a dick.
Doug, fashionably late as usual. He was building a mule deer chili. Good for you, buddy. I didn't see Steiner. Did you see Steiner?
Steiner Optics?
Right. Yep.
Who? No.
Yep.
No, there's Swarovski was there, but not Steiner. No.
I didn't see Steiner either. One with 40 mils of internal adjustment. One what?
I'm not sure.
We did go to the Athlon booth quickly as well.
Yeah, we went to Athlon. Fuckers just completely ignored us. Sons of bitches.
Okay, they're out.
Yeah, they're done.
Yep.
Motherfucker, don't you know who I am?
They're doing some unique things with PRS prize tables and stuff like that. But if they don't want to talk to us, they're not going to our support.
That's right. That seems to be a thing right now with optics is a lot more PRS support optics. Because didn't Schmidt just come out with a new like a 6 to 36 as well?
Yeah.
The PM2. Yeah.
I think I might have one here.
Well, Wayne, we did plan our days, but even when you plan so Wayne says next year before you go to shot, plan your days. We did actually plan our days, but it doesn't matter if you plan them or not, or you're seeing you're not seeing everything. You're pulled into meetings. We could have seen every booth, but then we don't have any in-depth content. We don't get to make connections with people. We don't get to talk to people. So we would rather hit 30% of the show and have something to talk about with that 30%, And yeah, Dan confirmed that he was talking about scopes. What do you got there, Sean, Kurt? What is that?
This is not the new 6 to 36. I was thinking it might have been, but Jens just picked up a new scope. It is the 5 to 45.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the 5 to 45.
Schmidt and Sexy Bender.
Schmidt and Sexy Bender.
Holy
pretty nice, eh?
Yoke on I'm sorry, Jens, that I don't have the white gloves on. but wowee, what a damn scope.
Even their LPVOs are like super solid and clear, and like nobody can question whether Schmidt makes good product.
Holy cow. No kidding.
Yep. To sum it up, overall, it was a great experience. Like, we're definitely going to go back again, hopefully with the whole crew next time. And yeah, it's just, if you have the opportunity to go, take advantage of it, because it's not like a standard consumer show. It's not like NRA annual meetings or like TACCOM. It's quite impressive.
Dan wants to know if Rheinmetall was there with their vampire. We didn't see them, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. Now Jens just, because we're talking about German stuff.
No.
All right. Yeah, I think there's going to be some more video content.
Uh-oh. We lose you guys? And I think they're gone. So Miles, yeah, absolutely a beauty. No kidding. What else did I see here? Shane says Schmidt is for psychos. Well, thank you. That lumps Jens and me in the same bracket. That's great. Doug Rodenbush, have to commit your first and second born to a lifetime of indentured servitude for a Schmidt and Bender scope. Well, you know what, really. What's the value of a first and second born child anyway? Phil Odell. Phil, good to see you here. Great to see you guys there. Thanks for making the time. Well, thanks, Phil, for spending the time with the guys down there. It was great. Wouldn't have been the same without you. Thanks for all the help to get the guys down there next year. Like they were saying, we'll get all four of us down there and really cause chaos, divide and conquer type thing. Spudman, Rooster, have you ever heard of TT scopes? They are Canadian made. That's tangent theta. Yes, they are kind of amazing scopes. Their price point sort of puts them out of the hands of a lot of people, as far as I'm concerned anyways. Amazing glass for sure, but are they any better really than Zero Compromise or the new Schmidt and Benders? I don't know. I can't say. I haven't spent a significant amount of time behind any of them, to be honest. Last weekend I was down in Moose Jaw at a shoot, and there were all three of those scopes down there. And I don't know. Maybe I'm not as picky as some guys, but when you get up in that top tier glass, there are such minute differences between all of them. It's you've got to be really picky, I think, to choose between choose one over another. Dan Castillo says buy 3 apexes for one tangent. Unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity to look through an apex. That's going to happen soon, but I'm hoping it's. Listen, I have Jens has 3 Schmidt and Bender scopes. I have a couple of Bushnell scopes, the top end Bushnell scopes, the DMR and the what the heck was it? The ERS, I guess, is what I have, and I've been satisfied with them for years. I guess maybe I'm not the pickiest of guys, but I'm really excited to see this Apex up against them, up against the Schmidt and Bender that I know, and you know what, put it up against the Tangent Thetas and the Zero Compromise that I'll see this spring and summer at different shoots. I'm really looking forward to doing that and doing up a review for that. Rodenbush. What does the 5 to 45 run? asks Alberta Rob. I don't know, but it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to Jens. So I don't ask questions. I just ask to look through it. Dan, tangent thetas are supposed to be the tippy top of the line. And you know what? They are definitely up there. Again, all tier 1 glass. I think the differences between all those top scopes is so minute. It's not even funny. What does Dan explain yourself? When I make my way out of production, I'm thinking of either Apex or a Razor. Oh, so production class for which is it? Is that rimfire, or is that a PRS class? Shane, the Apex is very solid against the Minox ZP5 and the Leupold. I get shit for saying Leopold all the time. I've said Leopold since I was like 12 years old, which is about 75 years ago. The Leupold Mark V as comparables. I wouldn't doubt it. Everything I've heard from guys who have looked through the Apex claim about the same thing. That's fantastic. I've yet to get my hands on one, and it is coming, and I'll tell you guys all about it when we do get there. Isn't the tangent theta made by Premier Optics? Wayne, I don't know that, honestly. Sorry. Spud. Tangent theta don't have much in reticle choices, though. Again, I don't know that. I don't know a whole lot about them, to be honest, because their price point is way out beyond my personal budget. So I guess my fault. I haven't been paying much attention to them. I'm not sure. But when you talk about reticles, though, how much better can you get from the current offerings? And I don't know, is there anything really wrong with the tangent theta reticles? You get your really busy ones like the H59 and stuff like that. Is that really helpful? Or you go to something like the Apex optics where you've got your top half of the view very clear, uncluttered to give you opportunity to see that bullet trace and all that kind of stuff. There's so many other reticles that have also kind of a cluttered, not massively cluttered top half of the reticle, but enough that it impedes your view of that bullet flight. Is that really important? Do you need those graduations in the top half of the reticle? And that's something that Apex has addressed, I think, that how useful is that? So if you've got the bare minimum up there, okay, maybe you might need to measure that bullet path to determine the impact point down at the bottom. But man, I dare almost anybody to measure that accurately. I think glass quality and clarity probably has a lot more importance than having graduations in the top half of your reticle to measure bullet path, the culminating point of that bullet flight. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Yours may be different. Where are we? Shane says I have all three. He's talking where the heck was it? The Bush or the Leupold, and I can't remember. It's too far back. Too many comments. Spud says he's very interested in the Apex. Probably be my next buy. Make sure it is. Shane says tangent purchase Premier. Oh, that's right too. Now that you mention that, I do remember. Okay. Premier was one of the best scopes on the market for sure. But again, sort of priced out of the everyman's budget. Doug Rodenbush, I still call him Leopold too. I guess that's us old guys. Doug, I've always known him as Leopold. I've been scolded enough times that I guess I'll change if I have to. Philadelphia. Andy Weber started Tangent Theta, and I believe part of the startup was he bought Premier and rolled them in. Yes, I think that's been confirmed. So, all right. Remember the Premier boosted Leopolds? I'm not sure what that is. Oh, look at this. What do you want? I'm still on the air.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am.
Unfortunately, we're getting like a little bit of cell service, but like no internet service, no LTE, no 4G, no nothing. So we're not going to be able to come back on.
That's okay.
But just give us a call when you're off air.
I'm gonna wrap it up here right away. I'm just answering some scope questions for guys.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, buddy. Bye.
All right. Talk to you later. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Great show. Appreciate all the comments and questions and everything. And look for more good content from Shotshow next show. Have a good evening. Talk to you later.